with the resources that you have, what have you accomplished for the people? There are different types of people that make up a society and make up a city like Lagos. Lagos is strong in a way because of our diversity. This is not something that is new.
Welcome to the VOP TV exclusive. So today I'm lounging with someone whom admired his campaign a lot during the general elections, especially the Lagos State governorship election. Not because of his jingle and not because of that, but because of the depth of knowledge I, gathered from him. And I'm sure he doesn't know this, but this is, I guess, an opportunity for me to let him in on that admiration, right? Well, you're right. I guess it's as good as mine. I am here with the governorship candidate of the ADC party for the 2023 governorship election in Lagos State. Mr. Funsho Doherty is here. Ambo, you're welcome, sir. What does that mean? I'm not Yoruba. What does that mean?
So as was Funshombo, Ambo.
Okay, yes, Funshombo. He's so sweet. Who did that thing for you? Your media team was excellent. They did a good job.
We had quite a few good people who believed in what we did. Great job.
Awesome. So of the about 15 governorship candidates for Lagos State, I don't know why, but I picked at you very well because I'd heard you, listened to you in several interviews, and I was awed by the depth of, conversations that you had.
Right.
I'm sorry, not for any reason, but you know that it's not very common thing for you to hear politicians speak, so in-depthly. And for me, I won't say I'm such a sappy, but I love to get knowledge when I know one when I see one. So how did you feel about the election, the outcome of the election generally?
Well, I'm obviously would have preferred if we won.
Naturally,
everyone would feel so. But I think that I think we ran a good campaign.
Beautiful campaign, I must say.
And I think we laid good foundation.
Why were you not in the ruling party, by the way? Because some people would be like, this man is so intelligent and would have been part of the...
Some might argue that being intelligent will get you away from the ruling party.
Wow.
But for me, there are just some fundamental, issues. When I think about why I made the transition into politics, my background is private sector. I can probably know.
Okay.
And for many years, decades, really ran about 3 different businesses as MD as CEO. But ultimately made a decision to transition into public service.
Yeah.
And it's a long time coming. I probably wrote my first article on governance about 10 years before I came into politics. And so it was a progressive thing.
Yeah.
But importantly for me, I felt that our society was not working.
Yeah.
That we were operating well below our potential, as reflected in the lives and the quality of lives that people were living.
Yeah.
And that the only way to fix that is if people who have the capacity and the competence step up, offer themselves for office.
And if we all cry for it,
we all cry for. And if the people then support
them
to get in. So it was our first outing. We did it on the platform of the ADC. We laid a foundation. And we intend to build on that foundation now in 2027. I think part of coming into this also is for people to have an opportunity to say no, you know what you're about, just as you were saying. Now you have encountered us because of the campaign.
Yeah.
So by the time we get to the next campaign, when we address issues like platform and things like that, we think we'll have a much more compelling offering for the people in 2027. Stay tuned.
Okay, great. Awesome. So following the outcome of the election, are you in any way discouraged about veering into politics?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's people who are successful in life are not those people who succeed at the first thing or the first opportunity. Right? More often than not, you'll find that there are people who persistent. and succeeded.
Buhari did not. He persisted. I don't know how successful he was.
Wasn't he persisted? But many people that you can point to, not just in politics, but in life, in business, you learn from your failure is not it's not all. It's it's a learning process. So it was very clear to us coming in that there were no guarantees.
So you were not caught unawares.
No, we were not. We knew that it was very strong possibility that politics, right? So it's not a fair field. You know that they win, they not win. In fact, the chances when you were attacked against us coming into it as a newcomer.
So you were so expectant that's why you're not so disappointed.
So look, did I go in thinking that I have no chance? No, I thought I had a good chance. I thought I would make my case to the people of Vegas, or would listen to me as you did, and they make their dust. Of course, other things come in like platform, the party structure, and so on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did I come in thinking that it was not just no? I felt that we had the opportunity, but I also knew as a realist that there were no guarantees, and just probably a long shot for us in our first attempt to succeed in a city like Lagos. But I would say that I am actually gratified by the process that we went through. I'm encouraged, and I feel that we'll be much stronger.
Okay. Excellent. I gather you're a Lagosian. And Omo Ikogongo, are you particularly impressed with the way Lagos State have been governed for the past 4 years, especially considering that, it receives quite an accolade amongst other states as the flagship state for Nigeria. Have you been impressed about the governance of Lagos State?
To put it quite frankly, I think Lagos has been undermanaged and it's been undergoverned.
Why do you think so?
You see, contrary to the narrative that is out there that, somebody that developed Lagos.
Oh, wow.
Lagos is a commercial center and has been so for centuries.
Even before the people who developed it.
Even before Nigeria, Lagos is a commercial center before Nigeria became Nigeria.
Oh, wow. And perhaps that's why it was chosen by the British to be made a commercial center.
Yeah, it's been a commercial center and a trading post for. It's one of the great features of what was then said, right?
Yes, please.
And has developed and has a strong, history. And people who run Lagos build on foundation that they don't come to build. You see what I mean?
Yes.
And
but some claim they built Lagos.
That's my point. That's what I started from.
Okay.
I said contrary to what narrative.
I wanted to re-emphasize that in another way. So we're getting very
so contrary to that narrative, it's important to realize that, if you are asked to govern Lagos, you are being entrusted with something, right? A lot of resources, you're a capital for many years, a commercial center, you have businesses here. So if you are governing some other states, your first challenge, do I even bring people here to establish businesses? And that's what you are thinking of.
Absolutely.
Lagos is not like. Lagos is like, how do I take it
level? Because there are already people here.
There's already here businesses, there are successful businesses, there's market, so it's about managing, ensuring that people can run successful businesses, minimal interference, and ensuring that people can live decent lives, that they have water, they have housing, they have transportation.
Absolutely.
For them, that the city works for those that have chosen to make this place.
Okay.
Right.
And such that beats, the times that we are, right?
Yes. So
and the status of the state.
So when you ask me that 13 years on, am I satisfied that, we've had it? I'm asking is no. Because many of those things that you look at, yes, we may have one or two or more bridges here and there or roads, but if you ask me what is the average quality of life that the average Lagosian is living today in terms of the basic things by which you might measure quality of life. So access to infrastructure, access to water, power, access to good healthcare, access to high quality education.
Even the environment generally.
The environment generally, right? When you measure by those, which is the ultimate work of government. When you build roads, you are building roads for a purpose, isn't it?
Yes, please.
It's not just for the road. It's because everything you are doing is for the welfare and security of.
Yes.
So if we look at, say, 30 years have passed, which is a generation.
Yes.
By the way, have we had a generation of progress in the quality of life? Or have we had stagnation? Or have we even had basically drawing back?
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And I think it's very difficult to answer that question. The affirmative, you have said that, look, people's lives have witnessed the generation of progress.
All right. So does it mean that you do not believe that the resources of Lagos State have been well managed by the administrators so
I think
far?
that's absolutely so. I think that's absolutely the case.
Okay.
And
Well, many will say it's a flagship state that other states borrow from and learn from.
yeah, so you see, it's like the parable of the talent. So somebody was given 5, somebody was given 1, the man who was given 10 brought back 10.
You not do anything bad though, to yourself.
Now, if that man who was given 10 brought back 2 additional, making 12, I'm not sure you say that man did. But if you compare him to the man who got 5, you say he has more, isn't it?
Yes, please.
That's like the story of it. Because Lagos has more resources, and therefore you expect more. We shouldn't necessarily compare ourselves
To be honest.
to the other.
So is it like the case of the one-eyed man in the land of the blind?
In a way, you can look at it that.
Okay.
In a way, you can look at it that. Right? So the question is, with the resources that you have,
Absolutely.
what have you accomplished
Yeah.
for the people? Now, somebody will bring the argument, as Liberty does from. Well, Lagos is a victim of its own success because other people come and a lot of people flock to Lagos. But the truth is that is not me. Lagos has been attacking this century that talking about. Lagos has been attacking.
Yes, please.
But what a good government, is to manage the society in an inclusive way, right? Considering this as these people who migrate as a resource to be invested to drive their own productivity, to drive the prosperity of the society. You see what I mean?
Yes, please.
And then that way, by being inclusive in your governance, right? Because population can also be an engine of prosperity.
Yeah.
Right? So if you look at something as a millstone around your neck and manage it in an extractive way, it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. It will become a millstone around your neck. But if you look at it from the perspective of opportunity, right? How do we enhance the capacity of this population that we have? Give them the capacity to be productive and to drive the prosperity of the state. The people themselves will prosper. The state will be prosperous. We will have higher taxes, and the society will be.
All right. Speaking about prosperity, I did more like account of the governors that have governed Lagos State since 1999. I don't think I've particularly noticed anyone who's a core citizen, as it were, be the governor, be at the helm of affairs of Lagos State. As a matter of fact, the present governor and his deputy, I know that they can be traced to Ogun State, as it were. Now, do you, as a Lagos citizen, feel a type of way that you may not be able to go to Ogun State to contest for governorship and perhaps giving the freedom to win an election in Ogun State? Whereas, any other person can lay claims, or any other person from the western part of Nigeria can lay claim to Lagos State and, succeed in Lagos State as a Lagos citizen. Does that, make you feel a type of way?
So here's what I will say. First of all, I don't want to speak to the antecedents of current governor. Sure, he can speak for himself. You understand what his antecedents are and where he's from and all that. So I won't speak to that much. But I think that, you see, the most important thing, right, is to understand that there are different types of people that make up a society and make up a city like Lagos. Lagos is strong in a way because of our diversity.
Absolutely.
This is not something that is new, by the way. This is how Lagos has always, again, going back centuries, right? So it is something that is in our DNA in Lagos to be welcoming, right? Historically. Now, having said that, we must realize that we are not all in exactly the same bucket, because there are some people who were the original settlers in this land.
And that's exactly what prompted my question.
Yes, and they must be given the due recognition that they were the original settlers.
Absolutely.
In this land, right?
Do you think that has been happening?
Maybe not enough.
Especially in the new democracy.
Yeah, I think maybe not enough, right? And those people, and it's not just the original settlers, it is the waves of people who settled, progressively after the original settlers, who were the Awori people, right? Who are also, you can think of as the roots of Lagos, right? And you can trace it through the Aworis, the Benin, the Lopez, the Ebas, the Saros, the Agudas. These are the history of Lagos.
Yeah,
right?
because that also plays in Badagry people.
So there's a whole gamut of things.
Yeah.
So, but you must recognize the unique position of people who original settlers, the people you can think of as
indigenous people of Lagos State. Because whether we like it or not.
And everybody must be given their due recognition, right? It should not be something that then divides when you now give people the recognition that is due there. But the moment you don't, you fuel this kind of distinction. I think also that sometimes this thing is exploited for political purposes.
Okay, because I was going to there already, because I've been worried, especially with the way the past election went. You see a situation where one of the governorship candidates, whose genealogy could be traced to Lagos State as an indigene, was almost outcasted during the election and made to feel like, oh, he's from a certain part of the country, and because he has a matrilineal, trace to a certain part of the country, and then you find a situation also where some others who perhaps are not as it were, that their geography cannot be traced to Lagos State, say, oh, you know what, all of you that are not from Lagos State, go back to your villages. But you find those who are probably, attached to the state, not say that. And people begin to wonder, okay, so if we all are saying that because we know Yorubas, you should go back, how about those who are originally, like you said, from the state? What then happens to them? Does it mean that you too can go to Ekiti State, for instance, and contest an election and win? Does it mean you can go to Ondo State to contest an election and win? Do you think the Ondo citizen would also give you the freedom and rights like that you have given to other Yorubas from in Lagos State?
You see, the question of whether there are constitutional provisions that govern who can contest for election in a particular place. So those provisions exist.
Yes,
in the law of the land.
So do you think this issue was just because of politics? That's all.
So if somebody is not qualified constitutionally, he's not qualified. If he's qualified constitutionally, he's qualified. Whether the people in that place will accept him is a different matter. We can't legislate that. You see what I mean? But part, again, like I said, part of the DNA of Lagos is that Lagos has been welcome. It's
absolutely. That's why they started calling it a no man land, right?
Yeah. But then that should then not be taken to mean that there are no people that originally.
Absolutely.
Those that are originally. You're about Lagosians will tell you, that is nowhere.
Yeah.
You understand? So that should be, but the key thing to also bear is that this is politics. And use politics. The politics can sometimes become a getting game where people use anything to their advantage. So they will play up the ethnic if it bolsters their chances.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes not because they believe it.
Oh wow!
But because they know that when they say it, people will behave in certain ways.
You may spike emotions and perhaps.
Yes, and if the people behave in certain ways, it's to their benefit. So they'll say,
oh, okay.
You see what I mean?
Okay, yes, I do. So very quickly, because
so they will stoke that ethnic sentiment. Well, it's not only this last election. It has been happening.
Absolutely. Of course, we're Matthew 15 when they say some part of who should jump to the lagoon and all that. So you think that this is mostly politically driven? Very quickly, I'd like to know what your intentions are, because they're rushing me. What your intentions are about the demolitions in Lagos State? Some think, oh, it's targeted at particular, group of people, especially immigrants. And some think, it is fashioned in such a way that it has to bring back the original structure of Lagos State because of right to waterways and all that. But some are saying that if that is actually the case, there is Dolphin Estate, for instance, which almost sits at at the port of the canal. Why is Dolphin not demolished? Is it because they have some iron mines there? So what's your take on the demolitions in Lagos State?
Okay, so this is a bit of a complex question, but I think that there are a few aspects to it. First, if you build illegally on drainage in a low-lying coastal flooding city, you can complain, but if government demolishes your house, there's a limit to which you can.
Do you also think that the government is culpable because they saw through that, sir?
Nothing.
Okay, sir.
I'm saying.
Okay, sir.
Now, you then come back and ask the question that how did they get to build in the first place?
In the first place, and erect the structure.
It may be the same government that gave them, or maybe officials of the same government that gave them planning permission. That is a matter for compensation, right? And then compassion in how you deal with them.
Okay.
But you will not say that something that is presenting a flooding risk
should not be handled
with it. Because the government has that responsibility to the other citizens to deal with that. But they must do it in a way that is compassionate and that recognizes their own culpability. Do you understand?
Yes.
In that process. So that's one. But secondly, and more importantly, is that the government is, and this is where I have problem with the government. The government itself must be consistent in what it does. Let me give you an example because you raised flooding.
Yes, please.
The coastal road,
the Lagos-Calabar coastal road,
they've started the construction of it.
Yes.
47 kilometers.
I saw your complaint about that.
Yes.
And the way the contract was awarded. But we'll not have time to go through that.
Yes. I'm talking about flooding.
Yes.
The environmental impact assessment of that road, we have not seen it.
But government said it's available.
No, they have not. They said they have one, a preliminary assessment, something like that in the law by the year, and nobody has seen it. So the law says it must exist. We must publish it, give time for people to complain. But the point I'm making, why I'm connecting it to the flooding question.
Yes, please.
This is a development in wetland area. So you must do environmental impact assessment to know how does this impact flooding risk. So you can't be doing that on one hand without environmental, and then demolishing people's houses
on the other hand,
on drainage on the other hand, which is a man-made drainage. When there is wetland, which is natural drainage that you're not taking advantage of. So that's the place where I have a problem with government.
So I was going to ask very quickly, do you think government officials or governments themselves should also be culpable or complicit as it were because of these buildings? Because how do you not supervise or be aware that a building is about to take place until it's erected and people are living there for a couple of years and all that? So do you think government...
The government officials, if you go and look into it, you will probably discover, I don't know the specifics, but if you go and look at it, you'll probably find that there's some culpability of errant officers there. But a government will always disclaim the activities of an errant officer. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
Now, but is this new? No. All these building collapses that we'll be having in Lagos, those buildings not built, in some cases, it's like if you're developing in Lagos. By the time you put up one story, Lagos State officials are there asking you questions. So it is unlikely that you put up a 6-story building and nobody will know. Hence the point you're making. It's true. But, yes, there's government culpability. Well, I agree. But, at the end of the day, government culpability, the action that must be taken to keep people secure, and then the compensation we must give to people are different things.
Okay.
And we can't conflate all of them. All of them are important. We must recognize government culpability, compensate people, and then do what is necessary to protect the lives of people.
All right. So the administration of Sanwo has spent about 6 years in office now, and a lot of people, there are lots of complaints. I, for one, complain that there's barely a stretch of road in Lagos to that airport. How would you rate his administration within the last 5 years? I like the way you have to take a deep breath. I like, are you going there? No, I wanted to hear from you specifically.
No, I think that Lagos has been undermanaged for a generation.
Oh, wow.
The undermanagement of Lagos started in 1999 in the present democratic era and has continued because, as far as I'm concerned, it is the same administration that we have had for 30 years.
Okay.
And I think that I think we need to move to an administration where the person in the governor's seat is more of a principal.
Yeah. All right.
Less of an agent.
All right. So as we wrap up, looking at the national scene, Bishop Coker said that 1 year is a bit too young or too small to judge the present administration. Do you agree with him?
Are you talking about
the national level? At the national level,
you may say it's too short to make a comprehensive overall assessment of how they did for posterity. But you can look at what they've done in that 1 year and say, X, Y, and Z are okay. These ones are not, and on balance, I'm not impressed. You understand? You class an assessment you can make after 1 year.
Okay. Because I was going to X-ray to X-ray that hand in hand with the governance of Argentina from December to now, and weighing that with the governance of Nigeria. Do you think that it is right for us to say, what, at this point, all the agitations have arrived? You think the agitations towards requesting for more from this administration at the national level is right? I think so. I think that people should be, I think that we've been too tame in what we requested from our government and too sort of willing to accept mediocrity from government, right? When people come into... So you push this to the people. You think the people are the issue? Because
No. I'm saying that, we should ask for more. I'm not blaming the people, but I'm saying that we should ask for more.
Okay.
And we should expect more of people who have campaigned, insisted, fought, struggled to get there. What we don't expect is excuses. We want results. And yes, it takes time to deliver results. But your early actions must show that you are on a path to delivering those results, that you recognize that your primary purpose is the welfare of the people, and not take actions that are sometimes appear spontaneous and knee-jerk reactions to make a headline without having thought through the implementation of those things, the effect of which turns out to be hardship on the people. You see what I mean?
Yes, I do.
And that we must avoid. The other thing I would say, which is my big bone of contention, is that I continue to see a lack of transparency, which I think is very concerning. If a ₦1 trillion contract can be awarded on a single source, no competitive bid basis, to me, you can talk from now till tomorrow. That is an evidence. And when you go around the globe talking to investors, telling them it's a new day, it's a new government, blah, 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 just one action can reveal what is the character of your government.
All right. Okay, great. Because when you said that thing about actions could set a precedent to actually where you're going to, it reminds me of the statement of former President Olusegun Obasanjo that a step in the right direction. I mean, a journey of 10,000 kilometers begins with a step, but a step in the right direction. Not when you dare to go to east and you start with west, so you would have been leading us astray.
Exactly.
But what do you intend to keep doing on your part as we wrap up to, request for that good governance that people deserve?
No, I think when we see issues, we'll continue to speak about them.
I noticed you did that already with the Lagos State procurement.
I did that with many things we've spoken about, including this coastal road.
This coastal road, too.
We wrote to the National Assembly, and it's based on engagements that we've had with the National Assembly subsequent to the letter that we wrote, that some of these investigations...
Do you think the pricing for this contract it's okay compared to world standard?
I have no way of knowing, but that's the reason why the law provides for competitive bidding.
Oh, wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
It's like let people compete. But
and let's know who gives us the best price.
Let's know. For all I know, the thing that is built for 1 trillion, maybe the money that's needed is 100 billion only. Maybe it's like 10% of. How can I know? I can't know. I'm not an engineer. And I won't, I don't expect the Minister of Works to tell me, because I'm an engineer, believe me. No, there's a law that says, let people tender for it, let them compete. That's what the law says.
All right. So we're looking forward to hearing more of you and hearing more from you too, as it were. Thank you so much. Apologies that I had to rush this. There's no time. I wish we had more time because there's a lot more to talk.
There is.
But then would you grant us the opportunity to have you another
We'll do it again.
Thank you. You're making this promise on camera, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. This has been our Funsho Doherty ADC governorship candidate for Lagos State in the 2023 election. It's been such a pleasure to have you. Thank you, sir. My name is Precious A. Thank you for joining us.